Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people putting up walls. I feel like life is on hold, perception stuck in a vault. I know that time can heal all, but how much time till we fall? It's awfully chilly outside when there's no shelter to hide. When everything is a lie, you'll find that out in some time. But when the things on your mind are all considered a crime, communication aside, we'll all just fight till we die. Is this an argument or just the start of it? Either way, I don't wanna be a part of it. Can I just get some space? I don't have the heart for this. I can't be picking up the pieces, fixing scars from this. Is this an argument or just the start of it? I wanna drive away so I can be so far from it. I wanna find a place where no one breaks their promises. Or maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where
is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
It's your boy Miguel Z with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I've got a guest for you folks at Stockton Con.
What up, everybody? AJ Kirsch here, the voice and the host of Stockton Con. The Value of Wrestling is awesome, so subscribe on YouTube. Scan the QR code right here, now. Subscribe, check it out.
There we go.
You'll be glad you did.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, that's what. Hey, man, shout out the Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big Oos, San Jose. We done shut the shit down. Love and respect, though, right? Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank
This is the Value of Wrestling on the big time, and I'm here with some great news. Are you a Funko Pop collector? Are you searching for some hard-to-find Funko Pops? Are you just looking to complete a collection? Well, the Value of Wrestling is teamed up with the Goldmine. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Goldmine, which can be found on Facebook, or by going to the description below and clicking the link, you can sign up to join the Goldmine, who will help you find those hard-to-find, rare pops. They'll help you complete your collection. Just let them know when you're signing up what Funko Pops you're looking for and that the Value of Wrestling sent you. The Goldmine, the ones that are going to help you to find those rare to find pops and help you finish your collection. All can be done at the Goldmine. Sign up today and make sure you tell them the Value of Wrestling sent you. Oh, you didn't know. Well, we're back. Ladies and gentlemen. This is the Value of Wrestling. This is your SmackDown post-show review for May. Sorry, we just started May. Get used to saying April, but no, it's May 3rd, which means tomorrow's May 4th, which means May the 4th be with you.
Followed by Revenge of the 5th.
Yes. And in there, we get Backlash from WWE, all thrown in there, and of course, on Revenge of the 5th. And we'll give you some point in that day, a Value of Wrestling Weekly Roundup podcast. We're going to go over everything that happened this week in professional wrestling from top to bottom, the good, the bad, the ugly. And there's some ugly. Yeah, it's party time. Mr. Miguel Z here in the chat. Join him in the conversation. Join him in the chat. Tell us what you think about SmackDown tonight. Pre-taped out of France tonight. The same arena they're going to begin tomorrow for Backlash. Backlash comes to you live from France. Starting at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, meaning it's going to be like a 1 p.m. At 10 a.m. Pacific Time, and then 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for everybody else, you can fill it in between. So Mountain Time would be 11 a.m., which would be you people that are Utah, New Mexico, Montana, Idaho. Yeah, that would be your time frame. And then you got the Central Time, Oklahoma, Texas, Missouri, parts of Tennessee, in different areas. You're going to see this at high noon. So there you go. We broke it down for you. We did you a favor. We told you what time you need to watch this, depending on what area you're in, live on Peacock. It'll be Backlash. And, of course, we'll be getting up, at least me and Mr. Z will be getting up at early, getting ready for our 10 a.m. to watch this. Mr. Clarke gets to start at 11, so he gets a little extra hour before he has to sit down and focus on the journey ahead. And as soon as it's over, we'll come together. We'll post the video. We'll post the time when we're going to go live, and we'll discuss Backlash, the fallout of Backlash, and we'll cover that all. Tonight was SmackDown. SmackDown was basically a good show, a little better than Raw, and it felt a little more important. Hopefully, we're going to get over this hump. Backlash, and Monday starts the official new steps in a new direction. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of going on. We got some taste of what's coming up for King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. We're also going to get a SmackDown in Saudi Arabia before the show on that Saturday. And then that Sunday, it's Double or Nothing in Las Vegas, Nevada. And tomorrow, big announcement coming out from WWE. It's being announced tonight that they will come out on social media and announce. It looks like they finally decided where WrestleMania next year is going to take place. So big announcement for WrestleMania as announced on SmackDown. If you've watched it yet or not. So can't wait to see where WrestleMania is going to land. Is it going to be Minneapolis? Is it going to be Las Vegas? Will it be London? Will it be France? Will it be somebody's underpants? We hope not. Had to take it old school when we went down that river. But hey, we get to hopefully find out where WrestleMania 41 is going to take place, and it could be a big game changer. Anyways, we opened this card. Can we get to what we come? Okay, here we go. We opened this card, setting up everything, talking about what came out of the fallout of the draft, letting you know that the official draft doesn't take place until Monday. That'll be the start. We know AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes are going to come face to face tonight on the show. We have the first ever RKO show with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. We know Damage Control is going to be here wrestling, and we know the tag team titles on the line as A-Town Down Under will take on the Street Profits. The Author of Pains are going to take on the New Catch Republic. Carlito got exposed. We'll see what he has to say about Dragon Lee. Lots of things going on here, and we know Backlash is going to be a big event. But we started out with the eight-woman tag team match. Bayley teaming with Naomi, Bianca Belair, and Jade Cargill. There was a storm coming for sure. They took on the team of Tiffany Stratton, teaming up with Damage Control of Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors there. The one great thing is I don't know if this is going to kill the American crowds, but the crowds over there were hot tonight. This crowd in this arena was just going. I mean, there was chant after chant after chant. You're excited to watch this show with all the chants that were going on tonight. So it was an awesome experience to see these chants and hear these chants. And I think it gives somewhat of a bad name sometimes to the American wrestling audience. Because we seem kind of boring at times. We don't seem interested. I don't know. Maybe the American wrestling audience is getting over sedated with wrestling. Maybe that's it. Maybe we just have too much wrestling that we just don't take the enjoyment in the wrestling we get. Because I know overseas, they get a lot of independents and local companies that are doing wrestling over there. But I don't think they have like weekly TV for wrestling like WWE does, like we do here in the States. And though they can watch it over there, they don't just get many events when it comes there. And when they come there for the events, these people are live. I mean, whether it's a AEW event or WWE event, so far, I mean, the crowds have been lively. And so
there is a reason why even TNA gets over in the international markets, let alone WWE, the grandiose that WWE is.
Yep. YouTube is acting like it's not getting getting no frame drops, but they're saying they're not getting it. Everything looks good. Oh. Okay.
On my end so far, it looks good.
Everything looks fine on my end. If anybody's out there watching us, let us know if everything looks pretty out there in YouTube world, because as far as I can see, everything's good. Anyways, we had the 8-woman tag match in the end. Dakota Kai with a dominator, and Kairi has to break up the pin. Things break down so everyone can get their stuff in. Ending with Belair hitting the kiss of death on Dakota Kai to win. And Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Bayley, Naomi win at 10 minutes, 15 seconds. A good solid match here for the women. Jade Cargill still getting to show her moments of greatness. And thank you, Mr. Miguel. Good solid match. You know, when you get 8 women, when you get this many women in a ring, yeah, you're going to get a lot of high spots, fun spots. I think it was a decent match for these women. Over here in France, the crowd loved it. So, I mean, that was the most important part.
Absolutely. But the one thing I noticed is they still kept teasing the tension between Bianca and Bayley. I'm like, are they gonna circle back to that? Just the way that this one match looked, I'm just like, I
Yeah,
don't think it's gonna be anytime soon, but I think they're gonna circle back eventually.
I think they will. We'll have to see how everything plays out and how it goes from there. But it's going to be interesting. I mean, they keep teasing that maybe they'll become friends, maybe they won't. We'll have to see where Jade Cargill, Tiffany Stratton, all these pieces play into it, and then all the new women that are coming over to the main roster now. A lot of big names coming in.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to see what happens after the draft.
Oh, can't wait for Kiana James.
Also, Theory Grayson, while we're talking the back, some cheese and wine jokes. They talk about smelling fire. Can you smell the smoke? Because they are the smoke. And that's what the Street Profits are looking for. And so from there, we get Jade and Belair talking with Kayla in the back. They're confident of victory. Belair is ready for closure on damage control. She speaks directly at Bayley for a moment to say she's coming for that title once they're done with Asuka and Kairi. Jade plays a bit of peacekeeper here. And you can't blame Bianca Belair for winning her title back. Can't blame her for winning a piece of Bayley still. So
her title. Wait a minute here.
well, in her mindset.
I'm messing around.
So I mean, when you take it from that perspective, it's in her mindset. It's basically why I say that. Next, we get a recap of Carmelo Hayes being drafted to SmackDown last week, and then his match with Cody. Hayes is talking. We didn't come back, and Carmelo Hayes is talking with Nick Aldis, and Hayes is happy to be on SmackDown. He wants to keep his momentum going and wants in the King of the Ring tournament. Bobby Lashley shows up and congratulates Hayes on being here, and then says if Hayes needs anything to call him. Hayes feels good about where he is. Bobby reminds Hayes that he lost last week, so Hayes asks when's the last time Bobby even took a shot was. Bobby warns him to be careful about who he disrespects. Good solid promo here, Kamala Hayes. Rubbing up with Bobby Lashley. What could that mean? What could we see out of that? This would be a good time to align maybe Carmelo Hayes and with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Get rid of the name, pride, but take them all heel. I think Carmelo Hayes, this could be a very close evolution, a very close horseman for this era with these four men. I think you could do a lot here. I think it would give you could build Bobby Lashley to be the heel leader, the Ric Flair, the Triple H of this group, and Carmelo Hayes could be pulled along as the up and comer, the future of wrestling. And I think there's good opportunity here. But I think Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, now that they're over on SmackDown, maybe it is time for them to go heel. Maybe they drop BFAB and send her back to NXT or somewhere else. And maybe they bring Bianca Belair into this group and make them all heel. I think there's a lot of great stuff there. Of course,
I like your idea. I just don't see it happening because of the narrative they're using so far for Bianca.
Oh,
I think this trio with Jade and Naomi and Bianca, I think it's going to kind of this loose association at least. I think it's going to stay for a while.
No, I agree with you. I know it's far-fetched fantasy booking, but I'm just like, I still feel like Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, and if you throw Carmelo Hayes in there and make him a heel stable, even if you went back to the Hurt Business and brought that back and really let it become what it should have been, I think you got another perfect chance here to make this the next evolution, the next Horseman-esque stable with these four men. And hell, if you even if you want to mix it with a little bit of evolution and a Nation of Domination, you want to take those two things and kind of combine them into what this could be, bring back the Hurt Business name, I think you could have a really strong heel stable going forward. And I think that's what they need on SmackDown. Now that the Final Testament will be on Raw, these guys will be on SmackDown. I just feel Bobby Lashley's better as a heel, and I think the Street Profits need that heel streak. Their babyface run, not winning titles, it's just kind of blah. Like I can't get into the Street Profits. I love Montez Ford. I love Angelo Dawkins. I love their promo shooting when they're talking up stuff, but it's like I need to see them get something done in the ring, or it's just kind of like what's the point? Why stand with them? Yeah, and it's pride. It's just become a horrible name to even try to Yeah, get out of the throat.
We all thought it was horrible to begin with.
So
Just hearing about it, let alone it, now that's kind of become more official since it's been said on air.
I need these guys to go heel. I need them to be the Hurt Business. I need them to go heel. I think maybe you line MVP back up with them. I don't know what you do with Omos. We don't see much of him, so I'm not too worried. But
I think he works more house shows than anything else.
I think you keep Omos as a special attraction as need be. I don't think he needs MVP. Maybe you find him somebody else for a piece, but I would rather see Bobby Lashley, the Street Profits, Carmelo Hayes with MVP. I mean, there's your new group.
I think that would be fantastic, personally.
Anyways, the new Catch Republic come to the ring, and they get some loud cheers coming in from France. After the break, we get a recap of Cody announcing the draft picks, and I still say Raw is going to get the better draft picks. That's just a fact. Because Raw is 3 hours, and Raw needs more picks, and they're going to Netflix next year, and they're going back to being the A show. SmackDown Beyond Fox was the A show for a long time. Now we're getting back into transition. SmackDown's going to go to USA Network. It's going to fall back to the B show, but it's always been Raw. It's going to be the A show on streaming. And I think Raw's ratings are going to blow it out of the roof. It's going to look different how the ratings are going to be because with Raw being pretty much set up to be a live show. So once it goes on air, it'll air. So we out here on the West Coast, we'll have to watch it at 5 o'clock live like everybody else. Or it'll be a show that people watch later because it should be after it's over immediately available for replay, if not within 24 hours. I don't know how to exactly do that, but Raw is definitely going to change, and the parameters of Raw is going to change because they're not going to have a lot of the network censoring controls. Netflix is going to be a little more free of a playground. I think Raw 3 hours next year is going to be a whole different Raw than we've ever seen or at least seen in a long, long time. Anyway, it's New Catch for Republic took on the Authors of Pain. This is a solid, good match here. I did get worried in parts of it because the Catch Republic were really pulling out some of their stunts, staying ahead of Akam and Razor. I was like, please don't tell me they're going to have the Authors of Pain lose this match. Even though I love the Catch Republic, they can be very entertaining. I'm getting behind the name now. In the beginning, it was a little but now that you're kind of getting the music, getting behind it, it's a little more fun. But I was getting worried here because they really made it look like the New Catch Republic was going to win. Eventually, Scarlet Box Dunn Bate dives on the Razor, crosses and grabs Bates and launches him onto the floor with a modified F5. Dunn walks into Uranagi for Akam Razor tags in. Final chapter from AOP connects, and we are done. Authors of Pain get a good solid win here. Thankfully, it was 10 minutes, 27 seconds. Good solid match. Glad to see the Author of Pain are winning. They're all going over to Raw. Raw is going to have a really strong heel stable. So we'll have to see what they're going to do with the Final Testament. The other question is, though, does that mean SmackDown may be open to what is going to be the newest stable coming? Because it looks like Uncle Howdy and his group may be coming to the WWE very soon. All the info's there. Eric Harper re-signing with WWE steps you in that new direction. If this is a stable of 6, if we're going to get the Wyatt 6 in a new faction, if we are talking about Eric Rowan, Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, Taylor Rotunda, whatever you want to name him, Nikki Cross supposedly being a part of this group, Alexa Bliss, and possibly Joe Gacy. You could have a
Sorry, I don't know that one.
I know you don't. You could have a major stable here, and depending on where they're going to go, could be very interesting. I think they just got to be careful now that they put the Final Testament on Raw. I don't know if you need another dark stable like the Wyatt 6, as we are being told. Who knows what their official name will be, but we'll say that for now. I don't know what they'll be if they're going to be a heel dark stable. You can't really have 2 on the same show at the same time because I think it takes away from one of the other ones, I think that's kind of what hurt with the Pride and the Final Testament. They were feuding, but you really didn't want to see... you needed both of them to be built up to really get anywhere, and I think WWE booked them in a way where they kind of got stuck because they were going to hurt one of the groups.
Book themselves into a corner.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens there. Anyways, From there, we get a recap of the Bloodline brawling with Kevin Owens last week, Randy Orton coming in to save, and then we see Paul Heyman in the office with Nick Aldis in the back. Aldis denies the request from Heyman to have their match tomorrow canceled. Heyman advocates this to be for Randy and Owens' health, but if Aldis won't help them, Heyman is happy to let what happens to them at Backlash be on the conscience of Aldis. Aldis is asked if that's by orders of the tribal chief, and Heyman doesn't find that funny. Heyman admits he hasn't spoken to Roman Reigns since WrestleMania. He let this slip out, which upset Nick Aldis, and looked at him for clarification. Heyman has then clarified that he was the one who pulled Roman out of the draft. He had no choice in the matter. He couldn't subject Roman to the bloodline chaos, and again asked Aldis to keep Randy and Owens away from Solo and Tonga tomorrow. Aldis says Heyman can try to pull them out of the match on the RKO show. Selling here, we found out Heyman's the one that pulled the tribal chief out of the draft, so that's going to probably play in the storyline later. What is going on with Roman Reigns? What is going on with Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga? What is the status of Jimmy Uso? Because they haven't mentioned Jimmy in anything since everything's kind of come down. I know we guessed he got seriously injured and out with an injury, but I would still think they'd have to want to play that up in the storyline. And we know that Jacob Fatu is lingering in the shadows.
Where will he debut?
It's a good question. And it's going to be interesting.
Tonight, there's a possibility of tomorrow. Right now, we just have some Samoan playing the ukulele going somewhere over the rainbow. Until we finally find out.
Somewhere over the rain. Yep. Anyway, it's going to be interesting where we see Jacob Fatu. I think we're looking for something serious tomorrow. Will Randy Orton and Kevin Owens win? There's a possibility they win, but it might be by disqualification. I don't know what the rules for the match are at this point, or if they'll change the rules as we go into the match at the last moment. But I believe we may get into some type of street fight or Extreme Rules match here. If it's not called pre-match, I think this match may change something that they're going to throw out the rules, because the only way I see Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Tama Tonga, and Solo Sikoa doing this is going to be a teardown fight. I don't know if this is going to be a wrestling match. This is going to be a fight between these four men, and I think Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa, they're going to need the win, or they're going to have to lose because they beat the crap out of Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, getting disqualified. You need these two boys to look very, very strong, and I think they're going to tear apart Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. It's going to be a bloody fight. I have a feeling it's either going to go into a street fight. It's either going to be an announced street fight when the match happens, or the match is going to turn where the referee is going to be very lenient in the rules, maybe. I don't know. It's going to get very, very interesting in how this plays out. But it's definitely going to be an interesting match to watch, because Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga, they're going to come out looking like the winners. Will they win? It depends on how they want to play this out. It may be they may only lose because of a disqualification, but they are going to leave Kevin Owens and Randy Orton laying in the ring. That's the only way you can have these two walk out to set this next level, next story, next chapter in the Bloodline storyline going forward. Just remember, folks, that Simone Werewolf is put his stamp of approval here first. Yes, he did. Right on the Value Wrestling. Anyways, from there we got the RKO show. Randy Orton comes out and the crowd sings his song word for word as loud as they can, the whole audience. And I think they sang Randy Orton's song better than any AEW audience ever sang Chris Jericho's Fozzie's Judas. So, I mean, these guys were singing. And this is in France, where they don't necessarily... French is the language of the country, but they were singing this in English, clear as day, word for word. Even when the music cut out, they were still singing this. It was crazy to hear Randy Orton's music being sung, and you could even tell Randy Orton was getting a kick out of it. He was playing up to it, because I don't know how many times in our lifetime can you recall any time when we listened to Randy or had Randy Orton come down to the ring where the whole crowd was singing his song to him? I mean, we get it with Seth Rollins. We know Jericho. We know a few people it happens with, but I mean...
Singing the song to the wrestler is kind of more of a modern thing.
Yes.
You know,
But I mean, it rarely happens with like
5 years, maybe.
Randy Orton. I mean, it was just crazy, but they knew the song word for word was the other aspect in that.
Well, I mean, the song's been out long enough. He's been coming out to that track long enough. Hopefully, people know it. If you like Randy Orton like that.
Yes. And then Kevin Owens comes out. Both men have mics. Opens up with French. When Randy plays to the crowd, Randy is ready for their tag match tomorrow. Owens didn't really want guests for tonight, but eventually the persistence of Paul Heyman wore him down, and Heyman apparently has something to tell us. Kevin asked Randy if he wanted to introduce Heyman to on the RKO, and they bickered back and forth between KO and Randy. They both didn't really want to announce him. Heyman then introduces himself, and even Heyman can't stop from smiling as the crowd does his speech, word for word, louder. I know the American crowd will do it sometimes, but Heyman has a little bit more control. But tonight when they were doing it, even Heyman got tickled, and they completely had to change it up and throw some French in there so they couldn't sing along. So that was very, I mean, Heyman's impressive because he can do something like that. He can take where okay, you're going to do this, now watch me switch it up so you can't follow along. And it was great.
What's weird is the American crowd will sit there and say it's all stuck with him. But at the end, especially when, my name is Paul Heyman, well, they said it louder.
Oh, yeah. No, the French people.
Exactly. How many times does the person with the microphone get overtaken like that?
Yes. No, this French crowd was amazing. And they also had footage that showed that warnings were sent out to people in the area because the decibel level reached a certain level. So I guess in France, if there's a decibel level at a certain point, you get, because it showed somebody's watch saying, oh, there's a text message that says, warning, the crowd is very loud in this area, reaching 100 decibels could be unsafe for hearing. So that crowd was blowing it out of the water. Can't wait for tomorrow night how loud they're going to be. A little segment here with Heyman trying to get Randy Orton and Kevin Owens not to wrestle these guys. Eventually, they get attacked by Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. Security comes out, tries to break them apart. But they went off fighting through the crowd, off into the back. And we're getting the storyline. They almost took out Randy, but then they fought back. But eventually, they all fought back to the back. I love the overseas fans. So much energy. Yes. Where's the American fans that are bringing this level of intensity? It's sad to say that we just don't see it as much anymore. Anyways, it's in the back. The Street Profits talk about their top tonight. They play on getting the tag team title tonight and remind us that they want the smoke. Suddenly, we get L.A. Knight, yeah, to the ring. He is here to face Angel of Legado del Fantasma. L.A. Knight here, having to basically take on all members of Legado del Fantasma. Eventually, Knight sets for the butt force trauma, but has a club down Humberto first, and then spikes Angel with and then he hits the butt force trauma to get the win. A solid match, 6 minutes 43 seconds. L.A. Knight getting a win here over Angel. Angel really isn't anybody except a tag team guy. We'll have to see if they're going to really make this Legado del Fantasma feel important. It's kind of a sad thing right now. Nobody really feels great. Not even Santos Escobar feels of high caliber. The LWO feels more important than Legado del Fantasma, but since Legado del Fantasma...
I wouldn't say LW overall. I would say Ray, Dragon Lee.
But if you look at the group side by side, if you look like Legado del Fantasma against LWO, it feels like LWO as a group feel a little more important than Legado del Fantasma. If we look at the groups as a whole,
again, 2 wrestlers out of the NWO, and 1 wrestler just below them out of Legado.
Yeah, well, looking at the whole groups, but that's aside the point.
Well, anyways, when was the last time Joaquin Wilde and Toro, what's his name? I'm forgetting his.
Bruce Del Toro.
Thank you. When was the last time they won a match? That's why I say not the whole LWO.
Yes, but they're associated with the LWO, so they feel a little more important than you look at Humberto and Angel.
Again, so you're talking about 2 different things now. You're talking about a tag team versus a stable.
Yes, and I'm talking about the stables. I'm saying the LWO as a stable is a little more impressive than Legado del Fantasma. Not by a whole bunch, but I feel like the LWO is getting a little more attention than Legado del Fantasma.
At this point, I suppose.
I mean, it feels like they're putting the LWO over a little more than Legado del Fantasma. Legado del Fantasma, they have something there. It feels like they keep trying to get something to go there, and then they keep kind of losing. Now, LWO, yes, Ray, Dragon Lee kind of carrying that stable, but it still makes them feel more important. And I think people are a little more into Selena Vega than Alexa Lopez right now.
Okay, I'll give you that. That's for sure. That'll give you.
They haven't I don't think they've let Electra Lopez really shine yet. So we'll see how much longer the LWO is going to be around. We'll see. Legado del Fantasma.
You know what I would like to see, in the long run at least? I'd love to see Dom take over the LWO. When it's time to retire Ray, have a heel Dom take over and turn LWO heel again.
Could possibly. It just depends. We have to see where Dom plays his role into this. We have to see where Andrade plays his role into everything. Andrade is going to be on SmackDown, so is he going to have more interaction with Legado del Fantasma? And now that the LWO is on Raw, it's going to be very interesting. Anyways, post-match, Knight gets on the mic and wants to talk to us. He says the same song plays no matter where they go. Another dummy dropped on his head. 3 the hard way. He's not going to say this is his ring. He's going to make this his ring. He's entering the King of the Ring tournament. Santos Escobar gets on a mic. Somebody censor Miguel. Sanchez. Over it. Santos Escobar gets on the mic and interrupts us, noting how much Knight talks and warns him that he'll be the winning King of the Ring. Knight mocks him, then admits he does talk a bit too much, but the people like it, and so should be happy he talks, because when he's done talking, that's when you get stomped out. Then you find yourself laying on the mat thinking, what in the world was I doing? While the whole world reminds you that this is L.A. Knight's game. Yeah! A lot of talk there. Anyway, Knight looking like he's going to get in the King of the Ring. I still think that Gunther is going to be your King of the Ring winner. But, I mean, if you give me Gunther versus LA Knight in the finals of that, I don't think there's much to complain about in that scenario. I think that's probably the right scenario for that. Next, we recap Carlito-related stuff from last week. This leads us to Byron in the back with Carlito. And the crazy thing about Carlito, he's wearing the Puerto Rican LWO shirt. Hasn't worn an LWO shirt most of the time. He was an LWO. But tonight, after he turned on what we think is the LWO, or he turned on the LWO, or we don't know where this storyline's going, but he attacked Dragon Lee because he wanted Ray to pick him, thought it should have been him. Carlito is here, and he's wearing a LWO shirt. And of course, it's the blue, white, and red Puerto Rican flag, which is the same colors as the U.S., same colors as France, blue, white, red, white, and blue. So I don't know if he's like, oh, I want to wear red, light, and blue, so I'll put the LWO shirt. Or he remembered he had one. There you go. I don't know. It was interesting that after all this time, our biggest point was he never wears one, and tonight he wore one, and you're just kind of like, okay.
WTF. The whole thing
Exactly.
is, like, you would think he's kicked out the LWO, first for attacking Dragon Lee, and then last week for throwing Dragon Lee into Ray.
Yes.
He's like, what are we doing with Carlito?
And of course, Dragon Lee falls in and brawls with Carlito, sending him running away before Ray's able to pull Lee away from the fight. So, we'll have to see where this goes. Back to the ring. Here come the Street Profits. They head into the crowd to play around as we head to a break. And, I guess this one never got done. This person hasn't finished the show. See if I can get anything by refreshing it. Anyways, the Street Profits and A-Town Down Under go on in a tag match. The tag team champions do keep their titles. Okay, good. Now we got somebody who's got this done. Dawkins tags back in, but Theory crotches him on the top rope lower with a roaring flatliner behind the ref's back, and that gets a deflating 3 count. A-Town Down Under retains at 8 minutes 40 seconds. The Profits got like 80% of the showing offense. Yeah, they had a good match here, but in the end, we get A-Town Down Under getting the big win here. A-Town Down Under is going to be a great tag team. I don't know who they're going to feud with. Of course, DIY is coming over to a SmackDown. Of course, when they were last on Raw, there was a little bit of tension between Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, it seemed like after they didn't win the Raw tag team titles, maybe this is where you rebirth DIY. You have them go into it with A-Town Down Under. I think this would be a great foil for them, DIY, A-Town Down Under. This would be some great tag team capabilities. But I wonder if DIY might turn heel. I don't know if they'll align with Candice and Indy Hartwell. Since Tommaso Ciampa already feels like he's going heel, we know Johnny Gargano could play a great heel. I just don't know if I've seen it. I just felt like we were going to get... I always felt like Triple H was going to give us Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa story that the way it should have been done. So we'll have to wait and see. I do want to see DIY at least hold the tag team titles before they split and go into this feud with one another. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
I'm just looking at this match, though. Did anyone really think that A-Town Down Under was really going to lose the titles tonight? I mean,
Possibly.
really just became champions recently.
Possibly.
Really make them transitional champions like that?
No, I don't think so. I think they're going to carry the titles for a while. So as long as Awesome Truth has their titles.
They need to get their promo time in.
Yeah.
What they do in the ring, I don't know. I don't know how that's going to pan out. But they need to get their heat just promo-wise.
Yes. Anyways, commentary then runs down Backlash for the card tomorrow night. AJ heads out to the ring. We get Cody afterwards. Both men have mics now. Cody asks what we want to talk about. In French, AJ interrupts it and doesn't care what the crowd wants to talk about because Cody is in the ring with the phenomenal AJ Styles. The crowd gets loud and interrupts this for a bit. AJ then asks if Cody is focused on him because the more Cody focuses on the fan, the worse this will go for him. Cody tries to put over AJ, but AJ interrupts. He doesn't need this crap because while he's older than AJ, AJ is still in his prime. Cody asks who says otherwise. AJ, you didn't have to. AJ said they're nothing alike. Cody's path was always laid out for him. WWE welcomed Cody with open arms, and Cody loved it here until things got rough, and he couldn't handle it. Then AJ makes the Stardust hand motion. Cody made the decision to leave. AJ couldn't get that choice. He was kept out of this place for years. Then when he did get here, he had to fight and crawl to the top to do it all by himself. Unlike Cody, who had a Hall of Famers and legends watching his back at WrestleMania, so he could finish that story. Well, that was just a bunch of guys AJ has beaten before. Of course, I don't know if AJ's ever beaten The Rock, and I don't know if AJ's ever beaten The Undertaker. Has AJ beaten The Undertaker? We know he's beaten Cena, but I don't know if he's beaten The Undertaker.
He lost in the Boneyard match.
Yeah. I thought that was the only match they ever had.
The only one I can remember off the top of my head.
He's beating Cody the same way at Backlash. At Backlash, he's reminding everyone that he's phenomenal. The crowd takes his chance to sing. Cody asks who AJ's trying to convince. Cody has put him over every time, but don't you dare run down Cody's journey. He's made choices. He's endured many mistakes, and tomorrow night might be a dream match. AJ will always be phenomenal, but tomorrow AJ is just Cody's first title defense, which is too sweet. They want to make the Bullet Club, NWO, Wolfpack, the Too Sweet emblem, whatever you want to call it. This person call it.
I wanted to smack the heck out of the person who wrote those notes. I'm like, it's not the Bullet Club sign. It was originated by the NWO.
Technically, if we really went... Yes, but originally wasn't really made by the Click. Wasn't this kind of a Click thing? It just became more synonymous on TV. Like, they didn't do it too much on TV, but it became synonymous with the NWO. But it was something they were doing between the Click before this really, blew up.
Well, if it's not on TV, I don't know. I can only go based on what I
No,
saw.
if I remember through the documentaries, they were kind of doing this. It happened on TV, but it was very subtle between them when they did little things and different things. It didn't really get over until they really made it something in the NWO, really Kevin Nash and Scott Hall thing, and they carried it on, and then it became an everybody thing, and then it became a Bullet Club thing with the blessing of Hall, or at least Nash, kind of gave the blessing
Nash
off on that.
Hall, I'm not sure about.
AJ goes for the Too Sweet with Cody, but then winds up slapping Cody, and he walks off. we cut to the back where Kevin Owens and Randy Orton are then fighting with the bloodline of Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. The show cuts off from there, and we're left on a partial cliffhanger, which is always nice because we don't know what's going on. Makes you get interested for the fight at Backlash. Something another brand needs to figure out how to leave a cliffhanger. A cliffhanger.
But by the same token, we find out tomorrow morning. Or, well, morning for us anyways.
Yes.
So it's like, it's not like, we have to wait a whole week.
No, but at least one company has been known to do cliffhangers. The other company doesn't know how to leave cliffhangers. They don't know how to bring their audience back.
Wanting more? What does this you speak of?
I mean, when you have a group of people jumping other people, sometimes you end the show with that, and you don't really show all the details. You leave cliffhangers.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway.
Oh, it makes you want to go see what happens next week. Oh,
yeah, it might draw you in to watch next week, so your ratings will actually, maybe go up, bring interest in, make it exciting, getting everybody talking about it. Anyways, good solid show for tonight. Decent SmackDown. Probably the better show of the week out of all the shows that we've seen this week. Unless you're watching some New Japan or TNA and there's something great going on there.
I was going to say, speak for yourself, brother. I was watching TNA last night.
So I guess they had a good TNA show. I think the highlight of the night is Joe Hendry singing his song. Joe Hendry might be the new lead singer for Creed, but hey, that's okay. That was probably the
Joe Hendry
best
can take
rendition.
A lot of people higher.
Yes, I think Joe Hendry needs to team up with Weird Al. That's what we need to see.
I saw that. I saw your ex message. Excuse me.
I think that's what we want to see. Joe Hendry and Weird Al team up. I think that would be hilarious. Absolutely entertaining, worth the value. If TNA wants to get eyes on the product, they need to do that, and I think they'll draw eyes. Joe Hendry, though, is really trying to get attention on his song, trying to get the #1 up on the charts, and that's probably going to help bring a little bit of eyes to TNA because they need eyes on TNA. We'll talk a lot more in detail on Sunday when we do our weekly roundup about what's going on with TNA. Where's TNA standing? Is TNA going to survive? We know that we kind of nickname it the cockroach that'll just never go, but I mean, they really, if the news reports are factual and everything that we're gathering, they're hurting a little bit right now, which is sad. But hey.
I mean, I don't know what's going on backstage, but I mean, the in-ring product is still hella good, so.
Yes, well, you can have good in-ring product. We've seen that in other places, but if people aren't watching or are not buying your product, you can only do so much.
This is true. But by the same token, TNA usually has a stronger fan base than that other place that wants to big league everyone, with the exception of the WWE, because they can't big league the WWE.
But if worldwide only 500 buys came down for Rebellion, that's something you really have to worry about. If you're putting on pay-per-views and you only got 500 buys on pay-per-view worldwide, meaning only 500 individual people bought it. Now, does that mean 500 individual people watched it? No, because you could have like 10 people at a house party where one person bought it. So the true numbers are not there, but the buy rates when it's down to 500, when you're expecting 100,000, that's something scary. We'll talk more about that on Sunday for sure. We're going to talk about. We'll have a Backlash post-show review. If there's anything big coming out of Backlash, we may cover some more of that. We'll talk about Cody Rhodes' title reign. A lot of people thinking it's disappointing. It's a letdown. Speculations that WWE and Meltzer, Uncle Davey, coming out saying WWE doesn't have anything planned for Cody after WrestleMania. Like they don't have any plans for his future, which seems ridiculously redundant and repugnant to even report any of that, because how would you give him the title with no plans on any follow-up or go-through? You have to have some direction. There seems to be tension that people are pissed that Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes aren't already feuding with one another when it seems like a natural feud, which I get. There's a natural feud there, but I mean, there's a time and a place. Yes.
Exactly.
There's a time and a place to pull the trigger on these things. And right now, what Randy Orton's doing with Kevin Owens is more entertaining than necessarily what he's going to do with Cody Rhodes. And we still have the unknowing of what The Rock's going to do with Cody and when that's all going to come down. So there's a lot of things there. So I don't know why everybody's hating on this Cody Rhodes run. We're going to talk about AEW. We're going to talk about Chuckle Nuts in a neck brace, laughing at himself. I mean, I can't understand how if we go back to it and we talk about CM Punk and the fallout of All In, and Tony Khan comes out the next episode and announces, it was the scariest moment of my life. I was scared for my life. I had to fire him. And we know that Punk really didn't do anything more than lunge and yell at him. Now he goes in the ring, gets jumped by his buddies, the EVPs, and gets put in a neck brace without going to a hospital, without really adding to his story. And he's still sitting on TV giggling like an idiot because the Kenny Omega's coming on TV. It's just like, this is a man that should be pissed off, upset, and he should have been the one on Dynamite this Wednesday announcing, I am going to do everything in my power to take down these EVPs. I'm going to do everything in my power to remove them from their positions. I am angry. I am mad. Unfortunately, due to the contract I signed with them, they have ironclad contracts and I can't fire. He should have been the one explaining this, not necessarily the Young Bucks are like, oh yeah, we got ironclad contracts. This should have been Tony Khan's moment to make himself look like a boss, maybe. Did he? No, he looked like a chuckle nut sitting there rooting on, God, Kenny Omega's going to be on TV tonight. And then they kind of hurt Kenny Omega, how they had him come out there and just kind of look stupid. Then they rinse and repeat the same attack, basically. Was the overall attack different, but it was still set up. Jack Perry attacked. Young Bucks came out, no, Jack Perry, don't do that. Ha ha. Speed Twigger, yay! Like, I don't know. We're going to talk about that more. We'll get Mr. Paul's interpretation on all of it. We'll get Miguel Z's interpretation on it. We'll get to find out. We'll dig into that. We're going to talk about that. So a lot of things to talk about. And then we get to build into the rest of the month as we build into King and the Queen in the ring and Double or Nothing. You're excited for Double or Nothing, I guess, good for you. Right now I'm looking at going,
You say Double or Nothing, I see nothing.
well, I mean, you got Will Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné. You got Serena Deeb taking on Toni Storm. Serena Deeb's going to get fed to Toni Storm. And you have Christian Cage fighting Swerve. And I guess you got Will Ospreay versus Roderick Strong for the international title. Some of this will be good in-ring work, but a lot of the build to this pay-per-view, you're just kind of like... And again, everybody's going to praise Tony Khan because he can book a great pay-per-view and make a great pay-per-view. But man, if you watch Dynasty and the Dynamite after Dynasty, and I mean, WWE hasn't been perfect since WrestleMania. They haven't been like at the hottest, but we also know they're kind of in a transitional period trying to get this draft done. I don't know. I know a lot of people are mixed up about the draft. It was good. It was bad. I think they kind of played a lot of things safe. But we're going to have to really see what takes off. We got Backlash. I think, we're really going to be able to judge what the direction is, what's going to happen after we step out of Backlash. We're really going to get to know what's to come.
So people are so short-sighted talking about the draft, like it should be the most exciting thing in the world. Like, but the whole point is to set up stories going forward, and that's what the company did, or at least that's what we're assuming the company has done.
The draft was a playoff of the NFL. They did it at the same time as the NFL draft to get attention, to get people talking. It was a good move. I don't think it was a high priority. They did it. We have to see what comes after this. We have to see where Cody goes with the world title. We have to see where Damian Priest goes with his title. What are the stories? We know that Drew McIntyre and CM Punk, we have to see what happens there. It looks like Seth Rollins is either re-signed or real close to re-signing with WWE, which should be a big sign of relief, especially since if Seth Rollins is there, that definitely gives you Becky Lynch re-signing. So I don't think you're going to get Rebecca Quinn or Tyler Black in AEW anytime soon. So, anyways, WWE moving in that direction. There were some names let go from NXT. We'll talk about that on Sunday. Not any real big names. These were mostly people in the NIL program. that, you know, they're training to become wrestlers. Some were used on TV. The only name that really came out of there, that may be a name that was used on TV, but not a surprising name, was Drew Gulak. But that's what we have there. And Joe Hendry is going to tell us all about how AJ Francis has been fired twice and how he should be fired from TNA. Go get yourself fired. Go look up that video. That, and if you're out there, go support Joe Henry's theme song. It is on, it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on Amazon Music, it's on every playlist thing you can get into. Yeah, so go check out Joe Hendry. And I believe in Joe Hendry. Anything else you want to say about this show tonight, or anything you want to add in? Of course, we'll be here tomorrow after Backlash is over. We'll have to see when it all ends, and we can all get together. I think probably around 2 or 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We'll be doing a live post-show review of Backlash, so make sure you're here for that. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications. If you're here, give this a big thumbs up. Hit that like button. Every like helps us grow. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Join the Value Wrestling family, because we are growing, we are moving, we are soon to be the very best in this space. We are here to be contenders, not pretenders. You can believe that. Take it to the bank, cash that check, because we're going to get there. I promise you, we're not far away from 500, and that's going to be a big game changer. And then when we get to that 1,000 mark, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to show you why we are here to stay. We are here to play. We are here to be number one. No doubt about it. We're making moves, making $1 million moves. Believe that. Mr. Clarke, any final comments for tonight?
Can't wait till tomorrow. I want to hop off this so we can get there sooner.
Yes. In about, let's see, 8 o'clock, so 14 hours. 14 hours we got, ladies and gentlemen. So we will see you there on the next one. It'll be right here on the Value Wrestling with your post-show review for Backlash. We will see you there, B Square, or something. I don't know. Anyways, we are outy, rowdy, bowdy.
Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't alone. Take me back to an age when the world felt small. Way back before we blew it all. Too many things going on, I can't keep track of them all. From people dropping a bomb to people putting up walls. I feel like life is on hold, perception stuck in a vault. I know that time can heal all, but how much time till we fall? It's awfully chilly outside when there's no shelter to hide. When everything is a lie, you'll find that out in some time.